Hey everybody, here for Growing Up Hip Hop Season 1, Episode 3. Let's get into it. It was mostly about Angela and her stalker and Christina trying to get in touch with her dad. And as far as Angela and her stalker goes, okay, Angela is freaked out about it because the stalker sent flowers to the gym. And Romeo was like, "Well, you need to think about protecting yourself. You probably need to beef up security. You got to take these sorry, you gotta take these things into consideration because this is your safety that somebody is playing with, and you gotta think the stalker probably doesn't think that what they're doing is harassment. They just think that they're trying to be like they're trying to get close to you and whatnot. So Angela is just like, well, I'm freaked out. I don't know what to do. Basically, Angela is acting like a big baby with this whole situation, and she acted like a big baby this whole episode. But we'll get into that later. So, she went to the cops, and the cops basically told her, okay, well, you need to change up your pattern. If they know what time and where you are, then maybe you need to, like change your route. If you go to the gym on this day at this time, go at a different time. If you go home at this time, go home a different time. You probably need to beef up security more or whatever. Go out of town even if that helps. And she decided she's gonna go to Miami because they're having a Run DMC is having a concert, and she goes to all her dad's concerts. Plus TJ is gonna be there DJing, so she feels like it's the best time to go to Miami. So while she's in Miami, she's with Tiffany Lighty, who is Chris Lighty's daughter, and she's discussing her issues. Her not getting in touch with Christinia. Is her name pronounced Christinia or Christinia? I don't know. They call her both on the show. So they're not. She's talking about not getting in touch with her, and they're talking about maybe her possibly making Miami her home, moving there because she's going through a lot as far as with the stalker and everything in New York. So she's FaceTiming Romeo. Romeo's in Bulgaria, and he's filming Jarhead 3. He's doing military training, and he's saying he has like a newfound respect for it. Plus he's doing his training 4 hours a day and whatnot, but he knows that he's gonna have the responsibility of running No Limit Forever Records. So he's like, let me just get through this first, and then I'll deal with that when I get back home. And it's a lot on my plate, blah blah blah. So that's what it basically was with Romeo, him filming, him being in Bulgaria by himself, being a little bit homesick. So yeah, but she was FaceTiming him, and she was saying that maybe she would think about Miami being her new place to live. And Romeo was like, well, we can't really talk about it too much, but I don't think that you should up and leave New York because you can't run away from this situation. You have to deal with it. And she's like, well, I am dealing with it, but I just feel like enough is enough, and I feel like being in Miami is not such a bad idea, and I have to do what's right for me, which is true. So now we get to Christinia, and Christinia is still driving around Skid Row with her friend, her roommate, and they haven't come across her dad, but she did stop at this place where they it's like a homeless outreach program thing, but the guy there, he was a pastor. So she's speaking to him about her dad, and she's like, yeah, my dad relapsed, but no one has seen him, no one has heard from him. He's basically missing. So the pastor is like, I'm pretty sure, like, he said, jail is, prison is pretty much antisocial. So when they get out, they feel alone. They want to reach out to you, but they don't know how they can. So him going missing, this is like pretty much expected. But I'm pretty sure he wants to reach out to you. He wants to be with you guys because he's alone right now. So Christinia is just, hoping for the best but expecting the worst. And it's really messing with her mentally, physically, whatever. So she goes to her studio session to lay down her demo, and she's about an hour late, and her producer is like, listen, you're late. This isn't like you. What's going on? So she explains to him partially what's going on with her dad and how she can't find him. And he's like, okay, I understand this is what's going on with you and your dad, but you got to stay focused. Certain things don't matter. You have to focus on you. And, time is money. So she got upset because she was like, you're basically saying my dad doesn't matter. I don't need to be here. And she's like, you know what? Family comes first, whether you like it or not. So I don't need to be here. So he goes out and he talks to her and he's like, listen, I'm not trying to say your dad isn't important, nor is the situation unimportant. I'm just saying you got to focus on you. And she's like, yeah, but you didn't even let me explain to you what's going on with my dad. He's like, okay, explain. She's like, my dad is missing. Nobody's found him. So my biggest fear is that I'm going to get a call with bad news saying that my dad is dead. And that's what I'm worried about. And he's like, okay, I understand that. That's a lot on your plate, but I need for you to focus and I need for you to focus on you. I'm your friend. I'm not saying I don't care, but I need for you to get this done so that you'll be happy and you'll be good on what you need to do. And she's like, he's like, can I just get a little bit of your time? I mean, I understand that's anything to drive somebody, that can drive anybody crazy. But I need for you to get in here and do this demo because this is for your meeting with the producer. And she's like, okay, I can do it. So she did the demo. They went and they met up with Mac Main, who is CEO of Young Money Records. That's Lil Wayne and Drake and them. And she plays a demo for him, and she's like, performing in the seat or whatever. And he's like, okay, you have that it factor, and I know you will want Drake or Wayne on your song, but the industry is a bit saturated, and your timeline for when you're ready and when things will get done is not, it's not a set time. But well, basically he was telling her she's good, they'll keep in touch, but he didn't really offer her much. So she said she's gonna sort out, she's gonna look up other options. So while they're all in Miami, Angela, Tiffany, TJ, and Christina, they all meet up for lunch or whatever. So, Angela was already there, and then TJ came, and then Christina came last. Angela's irritated with Christina. She didn't say hi, she barely said anything. So, after she done ordered her food, she gonna get up and leave and then talk about, yeah, I'm ready to go. And then Christina is like, listen, I can't force her to talk to me if she doesn't want to talk to me. Apparently, she's still upset with me with the fashion show. So Angela says, well, if I don't vibe with somebody, I'm just not going to be around them or whatever. So Angela got up and she left. So Christina later met up with Tiffany and TJ, and she tells them that she doesn't really know how to go about talking to Angela about the situation. But TJ is like, listen, you got to talk to her face to face about it because she doesn't know what's going on. So she's just thinking you're flaking on her and whatnot. So TJ and Tiffany talk about their dads passing away. And Christina is like, I can only imagine what they're going through. Their dads aren't here. My dad is here, and I want to help him. And TJ is like, well, in your situation, I will be torn because the mystery. Our dads, their deaths are a mystery. We don't know who killed my dad, and we don't know with Tiffany. We don't know if my dad was killed or it was suicide. So it's still a question in the air. So Christina goes to meet up with Angela. And Angela and her assistant Joanna basically said that they feel like Christina, they can't take her serious as an artist, that they wouldn't book her again because she flaked on them, and they have enough flakes in their life. And Christina is like, well, I missed this one thing and it wasn't intentional. I had a lot of personal stuff going on that I really didn't want to discuss, but I'm very, very sorry. And she's like, well, you're calling while all the chaos is going on and whatnot. She's like, would you rather me not call at all? Angela is like, you can't call during the chaos and say, hey, I can't make it. That's not fair to us. So, Christina is like, wow, you know what? I don't need this. I don't need to deal with this. I'm leaving. And she left on that note. So, I mean, I feel like Angela is not being understanding. She's being a bitch about the whole thing. And, I mean, Christina needs to stop skating around the issue and finally tell them what was going on if y'all plan on doing business together or whatever. So, that was basically the episode. One last thing, when Egypt was in her session recording her song, Pepper was being a stage mom, like taking over. She kept pressing the button, interrupting the session. And, Egypt was finally like, the producers and Egypt was like, you need to leave. So she left. But I feel like Egypt needs vocal training, and she needs performance training, something. She needs a lot of practice because she has the potential, but you could hear it in her voice. She sounds nervous, and when she performs, you could see it. So she just needs a lot of work. But overall, it was an okay episode. I mean, I didn't see the preview for next episode, so I can't really say what's gonna happen next. But this was episode 3. You know, so far I like the show. You know, like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend, and I see you guys next video. Mwah. Later.